Every one of us has two voices inside our head. One whispers, "Take it easy. Do it later. You deserve a break." The other commands, "Get up. Face it. Do the hard thing." The first voice is seductive. It promises comfort, safety, and the sweet relief of procrastination. But comfort never changed anyone. Comfort never built a great body, launched a bold idea, or forged a relentless mind. Your brain is wired to protect you, not to push you. It will scream when you step into discomfort. It will flood you with excuses when the alarm rings at 5 a.m., when the workout gets heavy, or when the work in front of you demands more than you think you can give. But here's the truth. The life you want lives on the other side of hard things. Every time you force your brain to do what it doesn't want to do, you take the reins back from comfort and hand them to discipline. That is how you build a mind that doesn't fold under pressure but thrives in it. Tonight, we're not talking about motivation. We're talking about war. War with the part of your brain that keeps you average. Your brain is wired to seek comfort. It doesn't naturally chase growth or improvement. It doesn't crave challenge or struggle. From the moment you wake up, your mind is looking for the path of least resistance. That's why you scroll on your phone instead of reading a book. Why you hit snooze instead of getting out of bed. Why you stick with routines that feel safe even when they're holding you back. Your brain wants you to survive, not to thrive, and survival often looks like doing the easiest thing in front of you. But here's the catch. If you always let your brain take the easy way out, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you're reinforcing a neural pattern that tells your mind, avoid challenge, avoid stress, avoid growth. Over time, those small choices accumulate, and suddenly your limits are defined not by what you could achieve, but by what your brain allows you to attempt. The truth is, growth is uncomfortable. Every breakthrough, every skill, every achievement is born from the tension between effort and resistance. The brain will fight you at first, generating excuses, distractions, and even self-doubt. That fight is normal. It's proof that you are stepping into territory that will expand your capacity. When you recognize that your brain is designed to resist the hard, you gain an incredible advantage: awareness. You can anticipate the pushback, confront it deliberately, and train yourself to act despite it. Comfort is safe, but it's also a trap. Every time you force your brain to do something difficult, you're not just completing a task. You're rewiring your mind to embrace challenge, to seek growth, and to redefine what you thought was possible. In that discomfort lies the path to strength. Discomfort is the playground of growth. Every time you face a task that feels difficult, exhausting, or intimidating, your body and mind send signals to pull back, to retreat, to stick with what feels safe. That resistance is not a flaw. It's a sign that you are on the edge of expanding your limits. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. Comfort zones are cozy, but they are also cages that keep your potential small and predictable. When you deliberately choose to step into discomfort, whether it's lifting heavier weights, tackling a complex project, or having a difficult conversation, you are training more than just your skills. You are training your mind. You are teaching it that it can handle struggle, that pressure is temporary, and that effort leads to mastery. Each uncomfortable moment is a signal that your brain is being stretched, that it is forming new connections and building resilience. The very act of doing something hard rewires your brain to tolerate stress, uncertainty, and challenge more effectively. Most people avoid discomfort. They look for shortcuts, easy paths, and instant gratification. But those who deliberately embrace discomfort gain an invisible advantage. They understand that the pain, strain, and resistance are not obstacles. They are the roadmap to transformation. When you start to see discomfort as a tool rather than a threat, you shift your entire relationship with challenge. You stop shrinking from difficulty and start seeking it as a necessary ingredient for growth. Every moment of discomfort is an investment. The more you lean into it, the stronger your mind becomes, the sharper your focus, and the greater your capacity for achievement. The tasks you resist the most are often the ones that will teach you the most about yourself. Growth begins where comfort ends, and discomfort is the bridge that takes you there. Motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, often unpredictable, and it rarely shows up when you need it the most. You might wake up feeling fired up one morning, ready to tackle the day, only to find by noon that energy has evaporated. Relying on motivation alone is like trying to fuel a long journey with sparks of fire. It won't last. That's why discipline is the real engine of progress. Discipline doesn't wait for inspiration. Discipline acts, whether you feel like it or not, and that consistency is what separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. Discipline is built through habits, routines, and commitments that you honor even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It's getting out of bed when your brain wants to stay under the covers. It's writing when you'd rather scroll. It's showing up, doing the work, and finishing what you started, even when every part of you screams to quit. Motivation might get you started, but discipline carries you across the finish line, day after day, week after week, year after year. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Each time you choose to act despite resistance, you strengthen your ability to act the next time. You train your mind to trust itself, to rely on routines, and to keep moving forward even in the absence of excitement or desire. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is a furnace. Motivation gives you a taste of possibility. Discipline gives you results. If you want to achieve extraordinary things, you cannot wait to feel like it. You must act consistently, deliberately, and persistently. The moments you push through, the choices you make when motivation is absent, are the moments that define your growth, your character, and ultimately your life. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is the surest path to mastery. Small acts of resistance may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they build an unshakable mental strength. Every time you push through a minor discomfort, choosing to write a few extra pages, complete a challenging set of exercises, or tackle a task you've been avoiding, you are training your brain to handle difficulty. These micro resistances are the building blocks of resilience, and their effects compound quietly, often without you noticing, until one day you realize you can handle challenges that once felt impossible. The principle is simple. The brain learns through repetition. When you consistently choose the harder path, even in small ways, you create new neural pathways that make it easier to face difficulty in the future. Each time you resist the urge to quit or avoid, you strengthen your mental muscles. Over time, what once felt like a battle becomes routine, and your capacity for effort expands. These small acts of willpower are investments in a future version of yourself, one that is more disciplined, more focused, and more capable of achieving ambitious goals. Most people underestimate the power of these micro resistances because they look for immediate, dramatic results. But transformation rarely comes from one grand gesture. It comes from repeated, deliberate action over time. The key is consistency, doing the small, hard things day after day, even when motivation fades. By embracing micro resistance, you shift your relationship with challenge. You stop fearing difficulty and start seeing it as an opportunity to grow. Each small act of pushing through is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Over months and years, these tiny choices compound, creating mental toughness that allows you to take on larger, more complex challenges with confidence. In short, small, hard things today lead to extraordinary strength tomorrow. Pain is a compass. It tells you where your growth is waiting, even if it feels uncomfortable, frightening, or exhausting in the moment. The tasks, conversations, or challenges that make your stomach tighten and your mind resist are often the very things that will push you to a higher level. Pain is not just a warning, it is a signal. It points to the edges of your comfort zone and shows you where you need to stretch, where you need to confront your fears, and where you need to act with courage. Avoiding pain may feel safe, but it keeps you small. Every time you choose the easy path, your limits are reinforced. You tell your brain that it doesn't need to adapt, that it doesn't need to grow. But when you face the hard, the uncomfortable, or the painful, you give yourself a chance to expand what is possible. Pain is temporary, but the strength, wisdom, and resilience it builds are lasting. Think of every challenge as a signpost. The resistance you feel is not punishment, it's direction. The tension in your muscles during a tough workout, the frustration during a difficult project, the fear before a crucial conversation. These are all pointing you toward improvement. Leaning into that pain, rather than avoiding it, trains your mind and body to endure, adapt, and overcome. The most successful people don't avoid discomfort. They follow it. They understand that the things that hurt the most are often the things that matter the most. Pain is the compass guiding you toward growth. And if you learn to read it, you will never lose your way. Every moment of resistance you face is an opportunity to move closer to the life you want and the person you are capable of becoming. Repetition is the engine that rewires the mind. Every time you choose to do the hard thing, even when it feels uncomfortable, your brain strengthens the pathways that make future effort easier. Habits are not formed overnight. They are the result of repeated, deliberate action over time. The more consistently you practice discipline, persistence, and resilience, the more automatic these behaviors become. What once required immense effort eventually becomes second nature. Think about learning a skill or building strength. The first time you lift a heavy weight, write a challenging report, or tackle a new concept, your brain screams at you to stop. It's uncomfortable, and it requires conscious effort to continue. But the second time, the third time, the 10th time, you begin to notice a shift. The resistance lessens. The motion becomes smoother. The discomfort becomes manageable. That is repetition rewiring your brain. You are teaching your mind that it can endure difficulty and emerge stronger on the other side. This principle applies to every area of life. Repetition is what allows the mind to master emotional control, focus, and problem solving. It is what transforms hesitation into confidence and doubt into clarity. Each time you push through resistance, you are not just completing a task, you are building a neural foundation for future success. Consistency compounds. The small, repeated acts of facing challenges today create a version of yourself that is stronger, more capable, and more resilient tomorrow. Over time, the hard path becomes familiar, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. By embracing repetition, you create a mental framework where challenge is no longer feared, but expected, and where mastery is not a distant goal, but a natural consequence of persistent effort. Every choice you make carries consequences, often in ways you cannot see immediately. Easy choices, skipping a workout, avoiding a difficult conversation, taking shortcuts, offer immediate comfort, but they quietly shape a life of mediocrity. Hard choices, the ones that demand effort, courage, and discipline, are uncomfortable in the moment, but they lay the foundation for a life of strength, achievement, and freedom. The truth is simple. Easy choices create hard lives. Hard choices create easy lives. When you consistently choose the difficult path, you are investing in your future self. You are building habits, skills, and resilience that compound over time. Every time you do what others avoid, you gain an edge. You learn to tolerate discomfort, to act despite fear, and to persevere when the easy path tempts you. These choices may seem small at the moment, but they accumulate into a powerful force that shapes the trajectory of your life. On the other hand, when you continually take the easy route, you reinforce patterns of avoidance and dependency. Tasks pile up, challenges feel insurmountable, and opportunities slip away because your mind and body are conditioned to seek comfort rather than growth. The life you dream of, whether it's success, mastery, or personal fulfillment, remains distant because you have trained yourself to shy away from the very things that create it. The secret is to embrace the hard choices consistently. Say yes to discomfort. Say yes to effort. Say yes to the tasks that scare you or test you. Over time, the cumulative effect is extraordinary. What once felt impossible becomes routine. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. The life you want is not built on comfort or avoidance. It is built on the courage to choose the hard path day after day until it leads to freedom, mastery, and fulfillment.